Sit. Oi. Do you ever do that thing where you make a pile of books and you're like, these are the books that I have to haul. This is all that's left. I can talk about these and then I can be done. And then you open your Kindle. Discover there's like 100 more of them. And you're really not done. Hi guys, it's Leanne and welcome back to part 2 of the book haul that will never end. This is the cumulative book haul since the last time that I did one, which was sometime in the summer. So a while ago. There were many books in part 1. I'll link it here. This is part 2 and I think we should just jump in because I hope you please get a hot beverage. I hope you're comfortable. I'm just going to start talking about books. You've basically moved into my house. You're never leaving. You're never leaving. You can sleep with the puppies. There's room in their room. The first book that I'm going to mention is a little bit cruel of me. I must admit, it's just a little bit cruel of me. Because it doesn't actually come out until the 23rd of January 2020, which is many months ahead. Which is many months away. Like the end of this book haul. This is Little Bandage Days by Kyra Wilder and it's a thriller, but not one I would normally pick up, but kind of one that I'm really excited about. Allow me to explain. This is one of those books that does the everything was perfect thing that I hate in thrillers so much. So essentially Erica is a mother of 2 children and a wife, and she moves with her husband and their small family to Geneva, where she does not speak the local language and where she is completely isolated. Her husband is out of the house constantly and she is completely alone. She then becomes completely obsessed with making sure that from the outside their family looks like a storybook family. Everybody's well fed, everybody's well dressed, everybody's groomed, everything's tidy, everything's clean, ad nauseum. And usually I would see that as a premise and I would be like, nah, I'm out. But then there's this paragraph. The isolation, the sleeplessness and the oppressive demands of 2 little ones are getting to Erica. She's never been so alone, and once the children are asleep there are just too many hours to fill until morning. And there's something coming to get her. And the little tagline at the bottom is like, Little Bandage Days is a painfully claustrophobic story about a woman's descent into madness. Please tell me that this is going to be one of those books like The Upstairs Room by Kate Murray Brown, where it's like, she's not mad, she's being driven mad by other people. Wait, is she mad though? Is it just in her own head? Is he actually making a really good point? Oh my god, that is what I want out of this book. The next one that I have, I'm hoping is going to be pleasantly gory. This is The Escape Room by Megan Golden, and this is about 4 people who, let's be real, if we met them in real life, we would maybe put them in the category of people you would cross the road to avoid if you had to see them every day people. You know what I mean? They're Wall Street high flyers. They don't particularly care who they step on to get there. All they really care about is alcohol, themselves and money. And then they get stuck in a lift together. All 4 of them. Let's see. There's Vincent, Jules, Sylvie and Sam. And they discover that this isn't an accident. That they're not just locked in a lift together. That the elevator has actually been rigged and that they are playing in an elaborate escape room for the chance to get out alive. I really like the sentence at the end of this blurb which says, they are made to answer for profiting from a workplace where deception, intimidation and sexual harassment thrive. Haven't we all wanted to see people be accountable for their actions after working in that kind of workplace? Haven't we all? Next I have got another complete gear shift This is actually a collection of short stories, which is something that I have not read in a long time. I fell in love a couple of years ago with literary fiction short stories, not the magical realism kind, but the sort of down-to-earth, nitty-gritty, nasty kind that expose everyday secrets, and that is actually exactly what this book claims to do. The synopsis gives you a taster way better than I can. So it says, a lonely woman is fascinated by her niqab-wearing neighbours, a middle-aged teacher becomes obsessed with a young Gaelic football player, and an employer covers for his 2 employees caught having sex in a public toilet. So it's definitely the nitty gritty. Next, because it is spooky season, I have picked up Camp Slaughter by Sergio Gomez. Again, I don't know if this is a very good idea. This is actually one of those concepts that freaks me out more than anything else. And it's the being completely cut off from all technology and all civilization and left in the woods trope in horror, which I don't know why, but it makes me, I'm like nervous picking down here. It makes me nervous. I don't like it, but I'm going to read it anyway. This one is about a group of college kids who have rented out a cabin in the middle of the woods. They have heard legends of a place called Camp Slaughter, and this cabin is apparently part of the grounds where that happened. They don't know whether it's real or not, but there's lots of rumours, and you know, they're college kids and they're on, you know, summer break or whatever, and they want to have fun. Why? Just why? Why? But they do anyway. Gonna have fun. Yay! Don't think many of them are getting out alive from this one. Next up, one that I'm just going to cover very briefly because it's actually book 3 in a series, but it's too beautiful not to show you. This is Dark Dawn by J. Christoph. I mean, is this not beautiful? The entire book is just absolutely stunning. Can you see that? Can you see that? This one is the 3rd in the Nevernight series, following on from Nevernight and God's Grave, and I'm obsessed. Just in case you've never heard of the series, Nevernight is about Mia Corvair, who has had not a great life, really. Her father was executed in front of her when she was a very young child for being a dissenter and a danger to the crown. And in this world, which somehow manages to merge together medieval Florence with the Roman Empire, don't ask, I don't know, but it works. And so Mia decides that she is going to take on everybody who has ever taken anything from her, everybody who has ever ruined her life. And she decides that she's going to do that by becoming an assassin. But she knows some of the people who she wants to kill are, how do we say this? Protected, very protected. And so the only way for her to do this is to essentially go to assassin school. So that's what she does. Ooh, let's get my other long-term tease book out of the way. This is another book which comes out in 2020. I think it comes out in January. Yeah, it does. And it was like the universe heard me bitching about Jane Austen and was like, you can't do that. You can't do that. No. And so it gave me this. This is The Other Bennet Sister by Janet Hadlow, and I just love the fact that this exists. So this is essentially a novel about Mary, who is very much the forgotten Bennet sister from Pride and Prejudice. Everybody else gets something of a plot, and there has been many novels written over the years about Kitty and Lydia and what they were doing while everything bad was going on with, you know, Lizzie. But nobody talks about Mary because Mary's plain and serious and reads books and plays piano. And it's only taken me, I don't know, 15 years to realise actually I like Mary better than I like almost anybody else. Like, I mean, I want to be Lizzie. Maybe not with Darcy. We'll get into that later. That went a weird place. Anyhow, the blurb says, Mary is the middle of the 5 Bennet girls and the plainest of them all, an introvert in a family of extroverts with little in common with her siblings. Yet away from her family, perhaps there is hope and even the chance of love for her after all. And the cover is gonna look like this, and I'm very excited. Next, I have picked up a book which sounds like the best combination of all genres. This is a YA sci-fi horror. Tick. So this one is The Loneliest Girl in the Universe by Lauren James, and it has the ickiest premise ever. This is about Romy Silvers. She is the only surviving member of a spaceship which was sent looking for a new planet. She's in deep space, she's alone, it's very many years before she's going to get to her destination. She is bored out of her brain because she has gone through everything on the ship, and there's nothing. It's just boring, nothing. And then she gets a communication from a boy named Jay, and it's coming from Earth. The communications are very, very delayed because they're travelling a hugely long way, but these communications from this boy named Jay become her only source of any kind of amusement or hope. And then she starts to get some other messages from Earth, not from Jay, and they're very strange, and they're telling her very odd things, and suddenly she doesn't know what to believe. She's on her own in the middle of space. Next, I am hoping that Ann Cleeves has done it again, because I am holding in my hands the first book in a new series. Now, you guys know how I feel about crime fiction, so I don't pick up a lot of it anymore because I find that it's very samey. A lot of it's been done and done to death, and a lot of it I find is gritty to the point where I'm not enjoying it anymore, because I'm like, okay, you're serving me bleak and then sad with a side of harrowing, and I need something in there to get me through it. I'm not one of these people who believes that you need to really be sad and gritty throughout an entire crime novel. I just don't understand why anybody would want that. When I found Ann Cleeves, I was suddenly like, a light switched on somewhere, a door opened, and I was like, I wanted to just give me it, because Ann Cleeves has a few of the elements that I love the most in crime. She has that very small town setting and that very pronounced Agatha Christie way of being able to separate out characters so you know who they are immediately. She also has proper twisty turny crime plots that remind me of novels that I read that were published in like the 50s and things, when everything was kind of new and everybody was trying something that had never been tried before. Her plots feel really fresh, and I don't get that anywhere else. And also she is able to create in her main characters a kind of a person who is a friend who I would quite like to spend more time with, and that's one of my other issues with an awful lot of crime novels, is like, I don't care if you're jaded and you're broken and you've seen stuff. Do you know what? We've all seen stuff, my friend, and I don't want to read about you for another 200 pages. Goodbye. And none of her main characters are like that at all. So this is a new series, and this one is set in Devon, which makes me very happy. This series is about Matthew Venn, and he is, at the beginning of this novel, he has returned to the very small evangelical community that he massively turned his back on and ran away from when he was younger, for his father's funeral. He is not just staying for the funeral though, much to everybody's shock. He's actually taking over 2 of the little regions that have come together, and he is heading his first murder case. And he doesn't know how he feels about being back, and he doesn't know how he feels about running this case in a place where he knows people and everybody knows him. But that's the situation that he finds himself in. You guys know that I love the returning home to a small town trope. It's what some of my favourite crime and thriller books recently have been based on. I love that trope. I don't know why. I know that it's a bit basic bitch of me, but I don't care. And this is definitely capitalising on that, you know, rising trend. So I'm very excited. Next up, I have another one that again I hope is along the lines of The Upstairs Room by Kate Murray Brown. I don't necessarily mean in a spooky way, but in that, like, is he mad? Is he paranoid? We're meant to think he's or wait, are we meant to think he's paranoid? Do I just think he's paranoid? Am I paranoid? I want one of those novels. It also reminds me of Shutter Island, which you guys know me and Dennis Lehane we're just like that. This one is The Ditch by Herman Koch. Can I just say how much I love this cover as well, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. This one is about Robert Walter, who is the popular mayor of Amsterdam. He's been in office for a while, everything's going pretty well, everybody likes him. He's married, he has some kids, he has a very happy life. He's never entirely sure why his wife picked him, his very educated, very privileged wife, who doesn't even come from that country, why she picked him over his much better looking and much better accomplished friend. He's not entirely sure, but he's happy until he starts to suspect that she's cheating on him with one of his aldermen. And then as he starts to try and unpick that particular mystery, some other mysteries land in his lap, and he starts to slowly think, is my life unraveling, or did I actually have the life that I thought I had in the first place? I really, again, the tagline for this one is just great. It's like, and is it when we are depressed that we see the world most clearly? Mic drop moment much. Two more and we're finally done. So I'm gonna wait for the last one, which is a thriller, and I'm gonna show you this little one, which just was a purchase that I indulged myself in. And ironically, I don't often indulge myself in books like this anymore, and I wish that I did. So you guys know that I am a big fan of illustration. I love independent illustrators. I love supporting a range of styles, and one of the illustrators that I've loved for a really, really long time and have kind of watched the rise of is Hannah Dale. And Hannah Dale is behind Rendale Designs, which are pretty much, if you're in the UK, you will know them because they're in every garden centre, they're in every boutique shop, they're in every kind of like kitschy department store, anywhere with their really like grungy almost watercolour countryside chic designs. And this is a little book, and it's called The Country Set, and it's a celebration of Britain's best loved wildlife by Hannah Dale. And these watercolours are, I mean, I think if I could paint like this, I would just give up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't bother painting. I would just be like, I can paint with that. I'm just happy. I'm just happy. I can do that. I know I can do that. How does she make the birdie look so fluffy? How does she achieve the fluffiness of the little birdie? But he's so fluffy though, and so pretty, and it's watercolour, and like, how do you have that kind of control over watercolour, girl? Like, who are you? How dare you leave some talent for the rest of us? And so I saw this, funnily enough, in a garden centre, and I was like, do you know what, I'm having that. I'm having that, because I don't buy myself beautiful art books to look through very often, and so it mine. And also, it's a nice way to be able to own a group of Hannah Dale's illustrations, because a lot of them are in homeware products and stationery and things like that. And as much as I would like to, I cannot completely convert my home into a shrine to Hannah Dale. I mean, I would like to. I would if Helen would let me. She won't let me. Trust me, she won't let me. And finally, last but not least, thank you writing gods, for producing for me more thrillers which are not about white heterosexual middle-aged characters. Thank you. I enjoy this. This is Your Truth or Mine by Trisha Shakechla, and it is about Mia and Roy Kapoor, who have not had the easiest of marriages and didn't meet in the most conventional way, but they've made the best of what they have. Until one day there's a knock at the door with some information for Roy that he didn't expect, and he's then kind of forced to reevaluate everything he thought he knew, which is the kind of domestic thriller that I like. I'm very picky about my domestic thrillers. I don't read a lot of them. A lot of them are very cookie cuttery, and I don't have time to read the same plot over and over again if it's not got all of the trappings that I like. In all seriousness, I I'm bored. I'm bored now by the entire genre of domestic thrillers. And I've heard such good things about this one that I'm just dying to give it a go, because it has to be better. It has to be better. And I mean, in a way, it's already better because it's not about white characters. Just saying. So that is finally it. Holy God, I do not know how I managed to finally get through all of that. I mean, oh well, wait, it's finally it if you don't count like How to Draw Inky Wonderlands by Joanna Basford. So I have a pretty well established style with my illustrating, but I really love to deconstruct other artists' styles, and I think any kind of artist just picks up bits and pieces of flotsam and jetsam from different places and incorporates it. And this is essentially a breakdown of Joanna Basford's process. Let me find a page for you. Here we go. For example, this is how she plans and sketches out her designs for like mandala leaves and floral garlands and things. Intricate things about how she achieves perfect symmetry in her work. And it's also a colouring book, and it's also a doodling book, and so I just got it for myself because nobody can stop me. I'm an adult. Well, most of the time. I'm an adult most of the time. Yeah. Anyhow, if you don't count that, we're done. We're done. We're finally done. This is my cumulative book haul. There are more books, I'm not gonna lie. There are more books, but I've had them for a really long time now, and I can't remember when they came into the house or what book haul they were in last, so I'll probably just mention them as I come along, like as I read them in the recommendations videos and stuff like that. So, as always, if you have read any of the books that were in this haul, please let me know, particularly if you liked and or disliked them. I really like people's opinions. Sometimes the bad ones even make me want to read the book more. And if I've convinced you to pick up any of them, please let me know that too, because I like to know that I am a successful book pusher. I shall see you all later. Goodbye. Because I have to somehow design some sort of machinery to lift all of these stacks of books off of the floor, and then I need to find a house elf to put them away for me, because I don't want to. Is there anything worse than trying to find space on your shelves for new books when you aren't ready to do an unhaul? Like, is there actually anything worse? I don't think there is. I really don't.